صور ويومهم كلهم. روح داخل. خلي الزوم بعيد لا تقرب الزوم. كلهم وجوههم واضحة؟
نعم.
تعال صورهم لي. واضحة وياك. مرتشين ولا لا؟ اللي مرتشي يرفع ايده. اللي مرتشي يرفع ايده. انت متردد ولا شو؟ اللي مرتشي يرفع ايده.
اللي شل فلوس، اللي شل شيء يرفع ايده.
اللي معطاه فلوس رشوة يرفع ايده. ليش رفعت ايدك انت وانت؟ ما تدري؟ خلقه يعني. اوكي. لحظة عندك ناس وراك كلهم؟ صورهم. اللي مرتشي يرفع ايده. اللي ماخذ فلوس ممكن يرفع ايده. اطلع السيارة. في غير مني؟ شوي رجعت كم واحد دخل بوكس؟
8 هذا
8 ها؟ ليه؟
8
الله يجزاك. مفهوم لك المصريين. نتكلم عن انكم انتم بدل. في بناتكم بدل. بدل ما انحضر. فيكم امانه، فيكم رجوله. لحظة صور وجههم زين. اللي مرتشي منكم يرفع ايده، لأن التحقيق وراكم وفي وراكم عذاب. عذاب يعني شوية أقول لك. في كهرباء ممكن، في تخليع أظافر، في كلاب تاكلكم. ألعن على سجن غريب يكون عندكم العلم يعني. ليكم عذاب. اللي مرتشي بالأدب الحين يتكلم يرفع ايده. ارفع ايدك لا تقول لا. كم ماخذ؟
لا الادب انا اخذت لنا ادب والله ما نعلم شيء افضل من عندك.
قرب الكاميرا. نعم؟
قلت يا طول العمر انا محترف ما اعرف شيء، عامل من ضمن العمال خاشف جوا المزرعه والله ما نعلم شيء.
انت ما ارتشيت؟
لا والله.
وانت؟ لا والله. ولا درهم؟
لا والله.
زين ما عليه مشكله، كل معروف بعدين. روح. اللي بعده.
شفت ما
على فكرة يا اخوان النبالية صح يمكن عندهم كان ضمن نباهة ما انتبهوا للحارس اللي شارك. يمكن من امبارح حاطين كشاف هذا الكشاف هذا على اساس ان يبينون اذا شردوا من كرسي من النبالي هناك شاف الغاب فوق عشان يبين اذا حد شارك. لكن مكتوب الا انه يشرب ما ينلقى، والثاني انكشف شافه احترت عليه ويعذر وحطه هناك. وين اللي اسمع عادل؟ عادل بعد ما طلع. هاي اللي قاعد الخايف وقاعد تهذبه الشيخ رابع بنت عيسى من القهر. قام مسك يديها كذي مديلك على حرمه وانت يا الحمار. لا مدت يدها عليك ولا شيء. اللهم تزقرك هزبه. يمد ايده عليها ويقبل هذه يديها الحمار. ما شفت عليه، اعطيته بكس على راسه هني. انقلاب بالنعام ضربته. دخل الكشاف داخل. ما يدخل النور؟
لا. هي طويل عمر ترى؟
وهذا الرصاص اللي هني كان عادل هني وانا ضربت رصاص ثاني حاله، وكان قاعد هني وانا ضربت من 60 هنا. لانه هو الخايس اللعين اللي ضارب 48,000 درهم اول وعقبات 8000 لا 9000 وشوي او 8000. كم ماخذ؟
9548.
لحظه. الو بعد شويه مشوار. كم ماخذ عادل؟
طويل عمرهم واخذون وايد بس ما عم بيعترفوا في المضبوط يعني.
لا اللي قال لك هذاك الباكستاني اللي مولهم بالسماد.
السماد طويل العمر هذا على اساس اعترف عليه 11000 وفي 9500 ماسكينهم، وهذاك 48,000 وماخذ منه زياده كمان. بس
قضية الشيخ عيسى بن زايد الأخ غير الشقيق لرئيس الدولة الشيخ خليفة بن زايد آل نهيان، الذي ثارت حوله عاصفة من الانتقادات الدولية بعدما تسرب شريط فيديو يظهر فيه وهو يعذب تاجرا أفغانيا. أفغاني محمد شهبور الذي يظهر في الشريط وهو يضرب بعصا تحوي مسامير حديدية ثم تحرق أعضائه التناسلية بصاعق كهربائي ويجدد بصوت ويطلق النار باتجاهه عن عدم قدرته على تذكر ما حصل في تلك الليلة. تبقى الإشارة إلى أن القضية قد تشهد تطورات لاحقة في المستقبل، خاصة وأن باسم النابلسي يلاحق الشيخ عيسى قضائيا في أمريكا.
The videos produced by the UAE Tourism Authority tell of a simple desert people who have turned their oil-rich country into a bustling center of commerce, all ruled by a benevolent royal family. But this video, smuggled out of the UAE, tells a much different story about the royal family and its failure to take action against one of its own, caught on tape in what can only be described as sadistic torture. Just the first few seconds of the 45-minute tape are damning enough, and it gets worse. With the help of a man in a police uniform, the victim has his legs tied and then is forced to the ground, held down by the officer, as sand is shoved into the victim's mouth by what the UAE government now acknowledges to ABC News is one of the country's 22 royal sheikhs. Sheikh Isa, the brother of the crown prince, punishing a grain dealer he thought had cheated him. "You donkey, you dog," the sheikh screams.
That's the sheikh.
Right there. No doubt about it.
No doubt.
Houston businessman Bاسم النابلسي smuggled the graphic scenes out of the country.
Really, to make my case that this man is capable of doing what I say he can do, that's the proof.
Nabulsi worked for and with Sheikh Isa for more than a dozen years. The sheikh is not part of the UAE government, but when he came to Houston for weeks at a time, he stayed in the presidential suite at the Four Seasons Hotel and often had a police motorcade. Nabulsi says he and Sheikh Isa were business associates until a falling out that has led to a lawsuit and now the public release of the torture tapes.
It's like you flipped a switch and the man took a wrong turn in his life and started getting violent.
Nabulsi says the torture took place at Sheikh Isa's royal ranch on the outskirts of Abu Dhabi. And he says the sheikh ordered Nabulsi's brother to record the sessions so the sheikh could watch them later. At one point, the sheikh instructs the cameraman, get closer, let his suffering show." After using a cattle prod on his victim, there's this gruesome scene. The sheikh points to a board with a nail protruding and then begins to beat him again and again. "Where's the salt?" asks the sheikh. Salt poured into the wounds, in the middle of the desert at night, tortured by a member of the royal family, held down by men in uniform, over a missing load of grain worth about $5,000. There are worse scenes so horrific we can't show them on television.
It's absolutely revolting, and I must say I find it a great shame.
Sarah Lee Whitson of Human Rights Watch says she has never seen such a graphic tape with the torturer flaunting his acts.
Oh my God.
And most troubling, she says, the role of uniformed officers in carrying out the torture session.
They're acting under the color of law, and they represent the government. If the government does not investigate and prosecute these officers and those commanding these officers to go along with what we've just seen, then it is the state that is torturing them.
But in a statement to ABC News, the UAE Minister of Interior, Sheikh Issa's brother, says a government review concluded that all rules, policies, and procedures were followed correctly by the police department.
If this is their complete reply, then sadly it's a scam and it's a sham, and it should be called that.
Sheikh Issa's one-time business associate, Nabulsi, now back in Houston, says he too was tortured by the police after his falling out with Issa and his refusal to turn over the torture tapes he had been keeping for the Sheikh.
When I said I destroyed them, he said, "Did the Sheikh watch you destroy them?" And I said, "No." He says, "Well, we have a problem."
In his lawsuit, Nabulsi says he was arrested on trumped-up charges, confined to a small cell for 3 months at the El Wathba prison.
They would stick a finger up his anus and say, "This is from Sheikh Issa. Are you going to give us the tapes?" They would keep him from sleeping, deny him his medications, tell him that they were going to rape his wife, kill his child, made him pose naked while they took pictures.
In its statement, the UAE says Nabulsi, quote, was in no way mistreated during his incarceration. There's no record the U.S. government ever protested Nabulsi's treatment to the UAE, even during the state visit last year by Sheikh Issa's brother, the Crown Prince, to President Bush at Camp David.
This is awful. This is terrible.
We showed the tape to Congressman James McGovern, co-chairman of the House Human Rights Commission. He says the U.S. government must get involved.
Granted that they're strategically located in a key part of the world, but it's hard to imagine that we're just kind of going on with business as usual when this kind of stuff happens. And my guess, this is just the tip of the iceberg.
After first being accused of trafficking narcotics, Nabulsi was convicted by a UAE court of illegal possession of medicine prescribed by his doctor in the U.S.
The whole government is all brothers. What can you do?
The tape ends with what appears to be attempted murder. The victim is left semi-conscious as Sheikh Issa drives over him back and forth with his Mercedes SUV. Incredibly, Nabulsi says the grain dealer survived, but spent months in the hospital recovering from internal injuries. To date, there has been no police action taken against Sheikh Issa, whose brother, the chief of police, opened and then closed an official investigation.
This is something that the UAE government must act on immediately in order to salvage its reputation of a country with any semblance of law and order and fairness and justice.
In a statement today, the State Department said only that it urges all governments to fully investigate allegations of criminal acts. Nabulsi says he showed the tape to an official at the U.S. Embassy in Abu Dhabi the day before he was arrested. He says the only advice he got from the American official was to get his family and leave the country as soon as possible. Terry?